Good morning, welcome to Something Saturday. So hopefully you can't hear the drilling and things that are happening in the background as Tom creates a baby chicken palace sort of thing. Anyway, 2 weeks ago I think it was, I was in New Zealand with Paula, and she showed this card that looks like this. And I thought, oh, that is such a cool card. I know she sort of described how to make it, but I thought, you know what, we will go ahead and I will show you how to make it. And then, of course, being me, I had to experiment. And I thought it would be really nice if I could have it on its side, but obviously that's not going to work like that. So then I have created one that's on its side, which I will also show you. So let's just pop that one to one side and we'll concentrate on the first one. You need a piece of cardstock which is folded in half like a normal card, and another piece that is A6 pretty much, because that's going to sit onto there. All right, so we shall pop this in. Now you want your scorer, not your cutter, and basically you need this so it's in quarters. So I've already scored it at 10.5, so therefore 5.25 is my goal. That is 1, 2 and a bit. It probably doesn't have to be exact. And the same on the other side. So 5.25. Alrighty. So then, now I think she did this part differently, but because I am me, I am going to do it my way. So you can see your lines are here. I then want to do a cut between the two. So I'm just taking mine down to 5 centimeters, and I'm going to cut between this score line and this score line. So with these cutters, you can actually see there's a little line here. That is where you want it to go to. So between there and there, and then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing again. So I'm going to go down to 5 centimeters again, and I want to find my score line that is here, and I want it to go down to my score line, which is here. So then you end up with this little piece in the middle, which you can, so now I've got to remember how to do this. So you've got two pieces that go that way, one piece that goes that way, and it goes like that, so that you end up with it looking like that. And if you grab your bone scorer, then you can just, whoops, you can try and push it in the wrong direction, but that's what you end up with. So by not folding these lines, it will mean that those lines stay kind of straightish, and potentially if you want to, you could just go over them like that and sort of persuade them to be a little flatter. It doesn't matter because they're going to get covered up anyway. So then the next thing you want is some designer series paper. This one is actually going to sit on the back of here, but I'm not going to do that until the end. Don't know why, and I'm not really sure whether it makes a difference. So I thought I would use this designer series paper because it's really pretty, and I don't get to use it often enough. It is called Wildly Flowering. So I am going to go with this sheet here and persuade that lot back into there. So I have done myself a little mud map of how much I use. So we want it to be 4 inches wide and 5 3/4 long. So because this is going to be this way, I need to cut it bearing in mind that I don't want my pattern to be going that direction. I want it to be going this direction, which I made a bit of a bodge up on one of the other ones that I did. So that's why I'm sort of mentioning that now. And 4 inches. So 5 3/4 and 4. I will put it onto my blog post so you know what it is. All right. So then the next thing I discovered that was kind of handy was that if you put this into here, and you make sure that it's going to have a little teeny tiny gap at the top and the bottom. Hopefully you can actually see this. I might move it up into the frame. And then just go round this with a pen or a pencil. It actually doesn't matter because it's not going to be seen anyway, that. then what I did discover was that if you cut it so that it is a little bit less on this side, and the same on this side. Oops, that might have been slightly more than I anticipated. Anticipated even. There you go, new word, anticipated. And let's go there. Then that now should sit nicely inside there. Not bad. There we go. Yep, that'll work. Happy with that. Although apparently I did cut it slightly more than I intended to cut off the end. That's the way it goes. So then this piece, if you trim this down a little bit, oh, not like that, so that we're now going on the inside of it. And so then you're pretty much cutting off all the bits that you have drawn on and binning those. Then now this piece should fit nicely into there, and all we need now is a piece on there. So then we should have another piece that is the 5.75, and then we want it by 5 centimeters, just to go back into the metric system after having been in the imperial. That's the word I'm after. So then you've got that, and this part here is actually just going to get covered up with something. So then it doesn't matter if they don't actually match, because you're not going to notice. So that is how you get that part. So I will finish that off and pop it onto my blog, and we can move on to the other one. Now let's get rid of this piece. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to show you with this one, is that this then sits on the back of there, so that when it opens up, it looks like this is all a full card. So that's kind of awkward, isn't it? Awkward. There we go. So that's that. Now, the next one is how to make it like this. So in fact, this one then has a card as opposed to having to just write on the back of it. So it's made in, I'm pretty sure you already know, but it's made in exactly the same way, funnily enough. So let's push that out of the way, and we will score this. You know what? I'm going to score it the other way. 5.25, so 5.125. Make sure when you're doing this that the edge of your cardstock is butted right up against that, and don't use your cutter, as I almost did. So that's that one, and then again 5.12 and a bit. As I say, it probably wouldn't matter if it wasn't accurate. And then I want to cut it at 5 centimeters. And I want to cut from this score line that I can see here up to the score line that I can see here. If I can see it. Yep, that's it. And I'm going to turn it round and do the same again. So I've measured it up to the 5 centimeter mark. I'm just going to score it, cut it even between those two score lines. And there we have it. So push this out and like that. So it literally is just a push this out and allow those two folds and this front fold to come across, and don't worry about folding that back piece. So then we do that and we do that, and we try and get rid of some of that scoring in there, and we try and get rid of some of the scoring in there. You probably could be more technical and only score and cut the bits that you want to, but to be honest, it just makes it so much easier to do it this way. So then, don't do what I did and put it on upside down. You need to make sure that your back card opens. So then that will just sit onto there, and I might Might just attach it. Okay, let's get rid of that for a sec. Where's my glue gone to? There it is. A bit of Tombow. Hopefully I don't end up with it on my desk, because I should have probably put my silicone mat underneath it all. It's always those times when you don't put your silicone mat on that you accidentally come off and you go, oh bother, really should have done that. And then that can now sit straight on top of there, like that, so that it's going to be like that. Now, I wanted to show you quickly some new cardstock that I have. So this one is actually called Everyday Happiness. And the interesting thing with this is it actually has only 3 different sheets in it. Pretty sure it's 3. So it's got this one that is that way and that way. Obviously they have double-sided, and that one. And then the other one is this last one here, which is like that. Kind of nice. And I think the reason behind this is it's designed to be scrapbooking papers, which I think is kind of cool when you're doing a layout. Wow, that would have worked had I... So potentially, I guess, if you're doing a layout that's a double page and you actually want it to match, or you actually want 4 pages to match, it's kind of nice that. So anyway, I am going to use this one because I kind of like this one. And a bit of persuasion, that's back in there. So yeah, remember what I said about we want it to be the right way up. So this time we are going to cut it at 4 inches going this way, because I want the pattern to go that way on my card. Let's go 4 inches, and then the 5 3/4. Feel like I'm in Harry Potter, you know, platform, whatever it is. Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze. 6 3/4 or something like that, I think it is. But anyway, 5 3/4. And then I will just show you this bit again, where you want to pop this into the middle. So give yourself a little bit of a gap, shove that into there, and there we go. And I shall remember not to cut quite so much off it this time. In fact, no, I'm still going to use my scissors to do this. So I've cut it a lot closer this time, simply because I realized that by doing that, it's actually going to be, yeah, that's a lot closer actually. So just when you do it, if you're having a go at it, just bear in mind that this middle piece needs to be cut a lot closer to the line than the other ones do. Because obviously when you've got it out like this, you're not maybe quite as close to the edge. Anyway, yes, I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I feel like I've... Oh no, thank goodness for that. I was going to say I've gone and cut it wrong. No! So yes, just bear in mind that you want your pattern going up the page rather than down the page, and just make sure that it's going to. So let's take little extra bits off this. And take those out. Come here. And then just this little extra piece, it needs to be 5 centimeters. How come that didn't work? I am not too sure what I did then. Oh well, we'll just cut it down to the right size. Why didn't it work? That is interesting. Not sure why it didn't work, and that's not even lining up. So you know what? I'm going to ring the changes because I don't like the fact that it didn't work. And I obviously need to take a little bit more off this because that's... Oh, well, I didn't manage to cut it to 5 centimetres, which would explain why that wasn't fitting onto the front there. Gee, I'm doing a good job here, aren't I? And I'm going to trim this down to the 5 3/4. Platform 5 3/4. It's a good job I can amuse myself, isn't it? And yes, that'll fit nicely onto there. That'll fit nicely into there. Although I think I need to take a smidgen more off there. So 1 smidgen taken off. That looks better. Yes. So there you go. And then, as I say, you're going to have something that sits... Let's just move this lot out of the way. So something that sits on here just to cover over this part, the gap and the join. And it also strengthens the join that you've got there. Because obviously we have scored it, whereas this one here gets the backing onto it. So in fact, you don't see the score line that was on the back of this, the back or wherever it's gone to. Here it is. Score line that's on the back of this, it's got that on the back of it. Hopefully that will make sense. Anyway, I will put onto my blog the measurements and everything that you might need to be able to do this, and the finished cards, clearly. Hopefully that's it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything new happening. There are some new products, which is pretty cool, on the online store. And if you are looking through my blog, you will see some of them in potentially my previous post. I'm not sure if it will be or not. But when I... Oh, in fact... These ones here. So this is what I am doing with my class ladies this month. So it uses a new stamp set, which also happens to have the same, so the wordings are out of the same wordings are out of the same stamp set. So sometimes the simplest things mean the most. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. And there's another saying, which I'm not too sure where that particular stamp set is at the moment. But how gorgeous is this? This is a masks. So there's like 5 masks in the set that give you that image, and I thought this was rather lovely. I wanted to create something that was sort of like a sepia look, so hopefully the girls will like it when they do the class. So yes, just thought sneak peek. There it is. All right, I will just finish up by showing you those 2 again. I will go ahead, finish those ones off. Come and join me next Saturday and we will do something else that is different. I'm not sure what at the moment. So thank you for joining me. Bye.